are back. We have a little birdhouse in our garden, and every year 2 blue tits come back and have their chicks, and it looks like it's currently the 8th of February today, so they're a bit early because spring's not for another month or so. But they're back. It looks like they're making the nest already, or like scouting it out again. I love it when spring comes back and the days get longer, you hear the birds again, everything is brighter. Oh, that's just made my day. That has just made my morning. Oh, the blue tits are back. The blue tits are back. I love watching them. And there's a robin as well. Oh, I can't show you because I don't want to show you where I live, but I'm looking in my garden and there's a robin sitting at the top of the tree and then blue tits. It's such a rainy, grey, miserable Saturday. I put my yellow cardigan on because I was like trying to bring the brightness to it, and yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to the video. So today is, like I said, a very grey, miserable Saturday. I just want to spend the day doing a few bookish things. I want to go book shopping. I want to finish reading the book that I'm currently reading because it's a great one. And I want to organise my TBR for the next few months a bit as well. I like to have a bit of a structure with my TBR, so I know that I'm going to get to the books that I really want to read and then leave it a bit open as well. So I'll go through that with you as well, how I plan that and how I do that. So the first thing I want to do today is head out and do a bit of book shopping. The main thing I want to pick up is Crimson Moth, or Heartless Hunter as it's called in the US. The paperback for that was released last week, so I want to go and pick that up because I haven't read that yet. It kind of came on my radar towards the end of last year, and then I thought I'd just wait because the second book in the duology, Rebel Witch, comes out at the end of this month. So I had some other books that I wanted to read anyway, so I thought I'd just hold off, then I can read them one after the other, and then I don't have that wait between the 2 books. I can just read them both back to back. So that's what I want to do today. I want to head out and grab the Crimson Moth paperback. So I definitely want to go to Waterstones, but I'm not sure if I want to go to the Works as well, because the shopping centre I'm going to, Waterstones is at one end and then the Works is at the very other end. I don't know if I want to walk all the way through a busy shopping centre on a Saturday. The Works is quite a different shop to Waterstones, whereas Waterstones is like Barnes and Noble, your classic bookshop. The Works is more of a, I don't know, like a crafty shop. There's a lot of like arts and craft. There's a lot of kids' toys and kids' books, but then they do have quite a big selection of, I guess, more young adult books or like popular book talk, booktube books there. You can definitely find Fourth Wing, Elsie Silver books, anything like that, anything that's got a lot of popularity. The Cruel Prince I've seen there, but the biggest difference is the price, because the books in the Works are half the price, if not more, of the books in Waterstones. In Waterstones, for a classic paperback, you're looking to spend £9 to £13, I think, whereas in the Works, it's like £3 to £5 for a book. £5 like your average, I think. It's just so much cheaper. So if you already know there's like a popular book you want, definitely go to the Works first. Whereas if you're just looking to kind of browse, then Waterstone's better because they have a bigger selection and they're more likely to have any book that you're after. So we'll see when I get there if I end up going to both, but I probably will because I've got nothing else to do. It's a really lazy, chilled Saturday. Some of them are so different as well. We get some, oh, there's a pigeon. Great, there's a pigeon. I'm not a fan of the pigeon. We only have 2 pigeons in our garden and they're quite fat and well fed. But yeah, they come back a lot as well. But it's usually the smaller birds. We get the blue tits, we get the robin. The robin is there all year round. He's been here all winter. Or she has been here all winter. Sometimes we get like the long-tailed tits. Long-tailed, I don't know what they're called. Long-tailed? Long-tailed tits? Sometimes we get those. Yeah, I just love it. Oh, and the starlings as well. We get a lot of starlings. But I try to keep those out of the food a bit because as soon as you put food out, the starlings will just attack it and it's gone within seconds. So constantly buying food if you feed the starlings. Anyway, right. I'm gonna get going because if I don't, I'll end up standing here all day watching the birds. So I'm back home now, and that was a very successful shopping trip. I picked up a few books and also my first Jellycat. I'll show you those in a minute. So I did end up going into the works, but didn't pick up any books from there. They had a really big selection. They had Ali Hazelwood's new book, Deep End, but I haven't read any of her books yet, so I don't really want to start with her new release. They also had a box set with the first 5 Magnolia Parks books, and that was only £25, which is a really good price if you're after those. But I still haven't read the first book, so I don't really need to be picking up the rest of the series just yet. And then I went into Waterstones, and that's where I was more successful. I just love Waterstones. I feel like they just have such a better selection. They always have the new releases, and they have a few special editions as well. So I would have shown you, they had the Throne of Glass special edition. They had the Powerless, Reckless and Powerful special editions. They had a copy of Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I think it's the first edition, like the larger paperback copy where she's standing on the front looking like the Statue of Liberty. They had that copy in there, which I thought was really cool. If I had started reading that series and was into it, then I'd probably have picked that up. So let's get into everything that I bought at Waterstones. First up, I didn't realise that Waterstones sold Jellycats. So I picked up my first Jellycat. He's just the cutest. It's a little cherry. I've been looking at these for a while because I wanted one to sit on my bookshelves, and I just thought he was perfect. They only had a little selection, but how cute is he? Look at him, just a little cherry. We'll put him up on my bookshelves later when I put all my books away, and I also want to go through my TBR with you, so we'll do that later on. But oh, he's just so cute. Little cherry. He's so soft as well. And then for books, let me just get them out of the bag. So I picked up 3 books. They did have The Crimson Moth, which was the book that I went in there for. Here you go. And that's The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. Cicerelli, is that how you say her name? So this is the first book in the Crimson Moth duology, and Rebel Witch is coming out this month. But I think it's kind of like a witch and witch hunter type thing. So on the back it says, the only thing more treacherous than being a witch is falling in love. A hunted witch. The revolution reigns. The witches who once ruled are hidden. Hunted. Rune is one of them. A socialite by day, she is the Crimson Moth by night. Ooh. A vigilante bent on saving her own. Her next rescue demands she caught Gideon Sharp, a notorious witch hunter and unforgiving revolutionary. That sounds so good. Yeah, so she's a witch vigilante, socialite by day, Crimson Moth by night. So I think it's a bit of a enemies to lovers romance between a witch and a witch hunter. Oh, that just sounds so interesting. Whenever I've heard anyone speaking about this, I have thought it sounds right up my street. So I'm really excited to read this, and I'm definitely going to read it this month so that I can then read Rebel Witch when that comes out as well. And look at the cover as well. The cover's so pretty. That moth on the front. It's just so pretty. So that's The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. And then next up, if you saw my January reading wrap up, you would have seen that I read Better Than the Movies, which is a really cute, really sweet YA romance. And I had a really good time reading that. So I picked up the next book in that series. I think it's only going to be a duology, but this one is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. And I'm really nervous about this one because we got such a cute happy ending at the end of the last book. I think this one basically starts where it's all gone wrong. They've broken up, and it follows them sort of maybe getting back together. I don't really know. They were only in high school in the first book, so I think this is going to be when they go off to college and maybe their relationship doesn't last. I don't know much more than that. Right as they're about to set off to college together, tragedy struck and the two split up in the fallout. Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to this, kind of not, because we had such a cute ending to the first book. I don't really want to read about them being broken up. I am interested to see like how their story continues and what happens when they go off to college. So that will be a fun one to read, and hopefully it's just as cute as the first book, because I just loved how cute and romantic the first book was. So that's Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. And then finally, a bit random, but I picked up a serial killer romance, which is Butcher and Blackbird. That's the cover. It's quite a cute cover. I've heard about this one. I think it's meant to be quite funny as well. It's meant to be a bit of a funny serial killer romance. And it says on the front, romance, murder, chaos. Every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, the two find something elusive. The friendship of the like-minded, pitch black soul. Stalking across the country, the two hunters collide in an annual game of blood and suffering, one that pits them against the most dangerous monsters in the country. I don't know. I don't know why I picked it up. I think I'd just seen quite a few people talk about it, and I think it's meant to be a little bit funny as well. I don't think it's meant to be too serious. They are serial killers, so I don't really know how that's going to work. I have no idea what to expect from that. I don't know if it's clearly a dark romance. I'm hoping it's a bit more light-hearted than a regular dark romance, because I haven't read a dark romance before. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into here. I just thought that would be fun to read something completely different to what I'm used to. So yeah, we'll see how I go with that one, but that's Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. So that's it. I picked up 3 books, all a bit different. A fantasy, a romance, and a serial killer romance. Yeah, I'm really happy with those. I thought that was a good thing. And of course, my little cherry. Again, just look at him. He's so cute. Honestly, I'm so happy that I found him when I walked in there. That was just, what a good find. I might have him sitting on books. Look at that. Look at that. Look, wait, look when he's just like sitting on books. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, yeah, we need to find a spot for him on my bookshelves later. But for right now, I'm just gonna get into some comfies because I don't like to be in jeans at home. And then I'm gonna chill on the sofa for a bit and drink my coffee before it gets completely cold. And I also want to finish the book I'm reading because I'm currently reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Oh, and I have like 80 pages left and I just wanna sit down and finish it because it's all I can think about. I already know it's gonna be 5 stars. They just need to work through their stuff and just stop miscommunicating and get on the same page and realize what's happening. But at the same time, I just want them to carry on as they are because then the book's not going to end. I just don't want to stop reading about these characters. I love them so much. I'm going to go get comfortable now. I'll finish the book and then I'll give you my final thoughts on it once I finish. I've just finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez and I'm so in love. I loved every single minute of it. I didn't want it to end. This is absolute perfection. Perfection. I just did my Goodreads review and I said it was the easiest 5 stars I've given a book since Mist and Fury because I don't actually think any book has made me love 2 characters as much as this book just has. I'm so in love. And I text my boyfriend as well. I text him the gif of Buddy in Elf when he goes into his dad's office and he's like, I'm in love and I don't care who knows it. I was like, that feeling is how this book made me feel. It was just, I've never annotated a book before, but this book really makes me want to go back and annotate it. There are just so many moments where I just love to go back through and annotate and highlight all the parts where I related to him just to better understand myself a little bit more as well, because there were so many parts. And it's like, if I'd gone through and like marked all of those, then to look back at them all, I think would just be really eye-opening for myself. But I love that. I want to go back and I want to mark all those times, and I want to go back through and annotate all the times where I'm laughing, giggling at how funny this is, because there's so many funny moments. And I want to mark all the times when Brie is just so perfect, just so protective, so understanding, so caring, and she's going through her own stuff as well, and to be so there for Jacob. They are just perfection. They're just so meant for each other. Oh, it's fake dating. I don't know if I've actually said anything about this book. Yours Truly is the second book in the Part of Your World series from Abby Jimenez, and the characters from the first book, Part of Your World, that I read last month, do appear in this book as well, which is just so sweet as well, because I fell in love with those characters, not as much as Brie and Jacob. Brie and Jacob are top tier for me now. I don't know how anyone will ever compare to them, but in this one, Brie is a doctor who was working alongside the main character in the first book. She was her friend, and I loved her in the first book anyway, but I fell even more in love with her in this book, and it's fake dating. So he comes to work at her hospital, and then a few things happen, and they get thrown into this situation where they have to start fake dating, and they start writing letters to each other at the hospital because because he's so anxious, he doesn't feel confident enough to go and speak to her. He found the easiest way to communicate with her was through letter writing and writing little notes to each other in the beginning. And those letters were just so cute, so sweet, so funny. Normally I don't like miscommunication, but I just didn't mind it because I just wanted to keep hearing how they were feeling, and because they were miscommunicating to each other so much, it gave us a chance as a reader to just keep hearing their internal dialogue and how they were feeling. And if they had resolved everything so quickly, we wouldn't have gotten to hear that or see that. So I didn't mind the miscommunication because I didn't want them to be open about it. I liked being able to see truly in depth how each of them were feeling. It was just so perfect. I haven't read a lot of romance books, but I have to say this is definitely my favourite so far, and I just honestly, I don't know how anything is going to compare. I just thought this was the sweetest story. I can't say enough good things about it. If you haven't read it, definitely read it. I do think this is better than Part of Your World, but I would still say start with that because those characters do come into this book. It is just so much nicer knowing who those characters are when they do come into it. I can't wait to read the next book in this series, and she has another one coming out soon too. I'm going to be quick to pick up any of her releases now because I just think she's amazing. Okay, so now that I finished that and I'm in such a great mood, I want to go upstairs and firstly put away the books and the jelly cat that I bought today onto my bookshelves because I find that so satisfying putting away new books. And I also want to go through with you my TBR for the next few months and how I organise that. If you saw my bookshelf video that I posted a couple weeks back, then this will look very familiar to you because we organised it together. But yeah, so I now have some new books to put on there as well as my little jelly cat. Let's see where the new books go first. So first up we have Yours Truly, which goes back in its slot up here. Oh, lovely. And then we have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, which will go next to Better Than the Movies. Lovely. And then we have The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli, which we'll put in C right here. And then Butcher and Blackbird. It's not a fantasy, but I feel like it needs to go on the fantasy shelf. Oh, it's a romance though, isn't it? It is a romance. Why does it feel better on... No, I'm going to put it on the romance shelf. It's more colourful anyway, so it's not a fantasy. I don't know why I'm thinking that. I'm going to put it on the romance shelf because technically it's a serial killer romance. So Weaver will go at the end. There you go. And then where does he go? Oh, he's just so cute. Is he cuter on the romance shelf? Oh, he's so cute. Look at the way he just sits on the shelf like that. That is so cute. Or he kind of has to go on that side because otherwise his leaf will get squished. Move the tags. Yeah, look, his leaf will get squished if he's there. No, he's got to go on the romance shelf. But just like that. Do I move the candle out of the way? Do we not need the candle now? Oh, and he matches Butcher and Blackbird. Look at that. Look at the colour. I'm sorry, but I don't think that could be much more perfect. The fact that he matches the colour of Butcher and Blackbird. Oh, he's so cute. He is so cute. Or another option is if we put the Cruel Prince that way. Do not fall over. Do not fall over. If we put the Cruel Prince that way and then he can sit like out and about. What do we think about that one instead? I feel like I like that because he's more on display. What do we think? You have to let me know down below. What do you think? Do we leave him on the fantasy shelf here like this, so he's on display, or put him over here holding up the romance books? I could seriously just stand here and reorganise these shelves all day because it's just so much fun. I've just turned the camera around a bit because I want to have my bookshelves here and I'm going to put my screen up here. Okay, I'm recording my screen on my phone because I want to show you my Goodreads. So I'll pop up the screen here now. What I want to do is show you how I organise my TBR. I don't know if this is interesting. If you ever want to see what books I'm aiming to read soon, then my Goodreads is probably the best place to look. I do change it a lot. I don't stick to it very strict. As I'm quite new to reading, there's a lot of books that I want to get to. Like, I haven't finished the Cruel Prince trilogy and I just feel like that's something I need to finish soon. Or I haven't read a Emily Henry book and I need to. Like, there's certain books that I need to get to soon. And then I leave a little bit of mood reading space, just a bit of room for fun, so it's not as strict. So my Goodreads will be next to me now. What I do is I create shelves down here, so you can see where it says your bookshelves, and I've got Feb TBR, March TBR, April and May. I create myself monthly TBRs on here so that I can make sure that I'm getting to these sort of books soon. I also just know then roughly what I want to read, and I don't know, I like to keep it organised. So if I click on Feb, you'll see that I've just read Yours Truly, so that's on there, and like I said, easiest 5 stars since Mist and Fury. Heartless Hunter, which is actually the same as Crimson Moth, that's just the American title, is the one I just bought and I want to read that this month. Rebel Witch releases on the 18th of February. I want to read that. So those two are like my definites. And then Funny Story by Emily Henry. I actually don't have it yet. That's her newest release. I have her 3 previous releases and they're not the ones that I'm choosing to read first. I'm going to choose the one that I don't own. I don't think I'm going to get to an Emily Henry in February because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling Butcher and Blackbird instead, like something a bit different. I might actually pick up Butcher and Blackbird instead of Funny Story because I feel like I'm in my Abby Jimenez era. Like I feel like I need to read the rest of Abby Jimenez before I go into Emily Henry, so I'm not comparing them. I can just sort of go fresh and like have my Abby Jimenez era and then have my Emily Henry era. I think I'm actually going to do that. Where should I move Funny Story to? So what do I have on March? Okay, see, so on March then, so next month, I want to read the final Part of Your World book just for the summer and then also finish the Cruel Prince trilogy. So I'll read The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. And then, you know, I'm getting through my physical TBR as well then. So I do prioritise my physical TBR when I'm doing this. So I definitely want to read those 3 in March. So Funny Story's not going there. April. So April is the month of releases, isn't it? We've got Abby Jimenez's new book, Say You'll Remember Me, which I think is part of the same Part of Your World series. I'm not too sure. Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life. So I did want to read Emily Henry before that came out, and I don't really want to start with her newest release. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that then. Fearless, which is the 3rd and final book in the Powerless trilogy. I haven't actually read Powerful yet, which is the little novella, just because I know it's sad. We all know what happens at the end of that novella because it's set in the same timeline as the first book, so we know what happens to that character, and I just never had a moment where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be sad and cry and pick up that book. It just hasn't happened, but I do want to read it before Fearless because then I feel like I have all the information going into it, because I feel like as well there might be characters in Powerful or bits that I might have missed in Reckless by not knowing what happened there. I should prioritise that. Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands is the one I have there. I don't need to read that then, I just want to get to that. The 3rd book in that actually comes out this month I think, or next month, but they're not a priority to read. And in May, oh there you go, that's the 3rd book in the Emily Wilde, 11th of February. Oh, so it comes out this week. Yeah, I'm not going to get to that. And then The Night and the Moth is the new series coming from Rachel Gillig, who is the author of One Dark Window, which we know I love. So I definitely want to read that when that one comes out on the 20th of May. So that one has to stay there. Okay, so where am I going to put? I'm not going to read Funny Story. I'm going to remove it from my more shelves. I'm going to remove it from my Feb TBR. I'm just going to remove it. What else do I want to read in Feb? Okay, so I'm definitely going to do Heartless Hunter and Rebel Witch. When does Rebel Witch come out? 18th February. I think I need to read one more book before Heartless Hunter so that I can read them back to back. So it's the 8th today, so I've got 10 days. It's not going to take me 10 days to read The Crimson Moth. So I can read another book before then. And I keep looking at Butcher and Blackbird because it's like a smaller book as well, isn't it? So I'm thinking either Butcher and Blackbird, because that's just so different to Yours Truly, and it's going to be so different to Heartless Hunter, or I read Powerful. I get that novella done. I don't think I'm feeling another romance after Yours Truly. Do you know what? I think I'm going to put Butcher and Blackbird. I might, because I want to start a book tonight. I think I might just read Butcher and Blackbird. Why not? I think it's going to be fun. I'm hoping it's fun. I'm hoping it's not like serious serial killers. I think I'm going to pick up Butcher and Blackbird tonight. So let me just, my books. Want to read. And if you see any books on here as I'm scrolling through now, let me know down below if you've read them and if I should pick them up, like if I should add them to a TBR soon. 6 of Crows, I almost picked that up today. Right, where is it? We want Butcher and Blackbird. It was on my want to read somewhere. There you go, Butcher and Blackbird. What are other people rating it? That's a good thing, isn't it? Daisy. Oh, I think Daisy started following me after she's a new subscriber. I think she subscribed, or she follows me on Goodreads. We're friends on Goodreads. So that's what Daisy thought of it. 4 stars. Absolutely loved it. But okay, charming. Loved it. Murder and romance, but the fact they're also serial killers. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, but look at those reviews. Larry and Ali, I'm doing it. I'm going to read Butcher and Blackbird is definitely going to be my next read. I'm going to read that one tonight. So let's put that in Feb. Done. I'm going to put Powerful in Feb. I'm going to have time to read another book in February. So I'm going to put Powerful in there as well. Because can I search? No, I can't. What is this sorted by? Average rating. Who does that? Author. Who wrote it? Powerful. Who's the author for Powerful? Powerless. Rebecca Roberts. Roberts. Here we go. Powerful. 1.5. You know, February's such a romantic month. Why not just make myself sad for no reason. So we're going to do that. So we're going to read Butcher and Blackbird, then Heartless Hunter, Rebel Witch, and then Powerful to end off the month. I actually don't mind that. I think that's got a nice mix. It's got some romance, it's got some fantasy, it's got some serial killer romance. We have some sadness with Powerful. I like that. March, what have we got in March? No, that's it. I'm happy with March. March is good so far, and I'm going to leave it at those three so that I can keep it open, because then April, April. I don't honestly think I'm going to read Great Big Beautiful Life in April. I'm definitely going to read Say You'll Remember Me. Abby Jimenez is like a jump to author for me now after Yours Truly. I'm definitely going to read Fearless. How can I not? I don't think I'll read Map of the Other Lands. I'm not sure. That's kind of there and thereabouts. I think I get rid of Great Big Beautiful Life and I put Beach Read. Is April a good time for Beach Read? Do I just save Emily Henry for the summer and have an Emily Henry summer? Is that what I should do? I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm sorry, I'm going to remove you. I love to know when they're coming out, so that's why I leave them on there, but you're coming off April. Map of the Other Land, you're coming off April as well, because I don't think I'm going to get you then. That's going to be one like I just pick up when I'm feeling it. I'm not going to stick to I've got to read this then. May. You come out in February, so why have I even got you there? No, let's take you off. I could just sit in this room and organise these bookshelves and do this all day. I find this so much fun. Instead of actually reading the book, just organise the books. So these are the ones I've recently marked as wanting to read. Chris and Hannah, The Great Alone, Tomorrow, Lessons in Chemistry, God of Monsters. That sounds really interesting. I'm going off on a tangent. Right, February TBR done. March TBR done. Because then in that I can add a lot of fancy there. There's romance, like it needs something else. Maybe that's when I actually do read Map of the Other Lands or Magnolia Parks, if I ever get to that. Do you know what? No, I'm going to leave March as it is. Let's get through Feb. Let's read these in March. So I've got my next 7 books lined up, and then I can add on whatever I want after that. And then April, definitely going to read those 2. May, definitely going to read that in May. So I'm going to read Butcher and Blackbird tonight. Oh, trilogy. Is it a trilogy? Lever and Luck. Oh, and they're all out. Published 4th of June, published 11th of It comes out in February. It comes out this week. Sky Finsborough comes out this week. Okay, so if I like this one, then I think Lever and Luck. Let's just put these in want to read as well. It's a trilogy. I love a trilogy. I love a duology or a trilogy because they're just so manageable, easy to read. No, I like that. I like that. I love it when a plan comes to... What's the saying? I love it when no, I don't know. I just love it. If you know the saying, leave it down below, but I'm guessing you know what I mean. Okay, so Lever and Lark would then be on my March, which would be perfect if I like this and it is what I think it's going to be, like a funny... I keep saying funny. I don't know if it's funny. I just feel like it has to be, right? How can they just write about serial killers like that? I'm going to add Lever and Lark to March. Oh, I'm so excited by these. Okay, yeah, definitely then. And then that feels like such a good mix. Look how fun March looks there. It looks very similar to February because The Queen of Nothing and The Wicked King kind of giving Crimson Moth vibes. Lever and Lark after Butcher and Blackbird, just for the summer after Yours Truly. That looks like a good month. And then we got room for another one as well. I'm happy. Follow me on Goodreads and you can see what I'm putting on my TBR and what I'm moving around in my monthly TBRs. I don't stick to them, like I said, so it's not a definite. It's just a way that I can kind of organise what I'm reading and making sure that I'm reading my physical TBR and also getting to the books that I want to read, reading books before new books are released. It's just how I like to organise it. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today's video. I think I'm going to go make some dinner and then just chill and read Butcher and Blackbird actually. Probably FaceTime my boyfriend. I like to give him reviews of books. So I'll probably now, like I've just done to you and I just ramble about a book I've read, I do that to him, but with him I can give him spoilers because he's never going to read the books that I read. So I can give him my full review with spoilers, which is just even better because I have to hold back sometimes when I'm talking to the camera because I don't want to give anything away. Whereas with him I can be like, and then she said this and then she did this, and I love it. Him probably not so much. I do want to do more of these, just a day in the life, especially when I'm doing bookish things like organising my TBR, book shopping, reading. I think it's kind of fun just to vlog those days because hopefully it's what you're interested in and you can get my immediate thoughts on books that I'm reading as well. Let me know down below if you like this video. Let me know if I need to move the cherry. Let me know what I should be reading. You've got a lot to let me know, so just chat to me in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.